Chokers and the unfortunate, two teams that defines these tags. Hey fans, welcome to another show of team analysis and ratings. On our previous shows, we completed about 6 teams' ratings and analysis, and India stood out to be on the top with 82. Although we mentioned 81, inclusion of Ashwin added one valuable point. Let's see how that pans out. So in this show, we are going to cover the team analysis and ratings for two great teams. One is the Black Caps, or the Kiwis you call them.
And the other one is Proteas.
Yes. So let's quickly review the Kiwi squad. What are the highlights of this squad?
Oh, definitely. They are finalists in the last two World Cup.
Kane Williamson's brilliancy with the captaincy.
And what a fielding team. What a top fielding team.
On the paper, they've covered all the bases.
But unfortunately, when it comes to crunch moments, they are very unlucky.
I know. So who is the X factor in the squad?
I think for me, it'll be Devon Conway is the X factor. Because up front, he's been really consistent for New Zealand. He gets most of the runs in the power play, and then he paces his innings well, really well. Okay, rotates, strike, and then hits the odd balls, plays down the ground. So I think Devon Conway is going to be their run getter, and then he's my X factor. So what about you? Who do you think is the X factor?
So before I get into my X factor, I would like to say one thing about Conway. He's a classy left-handed batsman.
Classy.
New Zealand, after Tom Latham, I think have produced one of the greatest left-handers.
That's true.
My X factor for this World Cup would be a left-hand bowler, Trent Bolt, especially with the new ball.
Right.
When it comes to a one-day cricket, I think the initial 10 overs matters a lot, especially in the long run. So Trent Bolt is my X factor. I feel the weakness. Let's start with the weakness. Is their middle order batting? Because I see only Kane Williamson being the core of the middle order there.
That's right.
And the support to Kane Williamson is still lacking in terms of white ball cricket.
A lot of youngsters, right?
Exactly. A lot of youngsters. Coming to the opening batting, we have two left-handers who are making there, Devon Conway and Tom Latham, which is quite strong for the World Cup. And coming to the lower order batting, I see a good stand there between Daryl Mitchell, Glenn Phillips. Okay, so according to me, I would rate batting for New Zealand as 7 out of 10. Okay. That's my rating. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I would agree with you. I think most of the run getters, runs for New Zealand would be from Devon Conway and Latham up front. And then again, the middle order is shaky and only Kane Williamson. And he's just coming out of anterior cruciate ligament tear, which he had in the IPL. So we don't know how he will perform. And Daryl Mitchell, as you said, will be there down the order. Maybe Nisham might play. That gets them a little more batting. But yes, I would just give them 6.5 for batting. Yeah.
Coming to the bowling unit, I see it's a bit more balanced than the batting, especially with 4 pacers, couple of spinners. I see Southie's experience coming there, Trent Bolt, Matt Henry doing well lately.
Ferguson.
And they have a left-arm spinner, Ish Sodhi. So the balance is much better than batting. So I would rate the bowling unit a little more, 7.5 out of 10. What about you?
Yeah, that's right. Again, I agree. I think Bolt, as you said, will be a key X factor for them in the first power play. And then they have a pretty good spin attack in. They have Santner as well, who can pitch in spinning tracks, and Issodi definitely. So I think bowling for me would be 7 for New Zealand. Yeah.
Getting into the most important aspect of one-day cricket, all-rounders plays a very vital role. So for me, when it comes to all-rounders in the New Zealand squad, there is very less experience, I believe.
Okay.
Daryl Mitchell, Jimmy Neesham, and Santner can pitch in. But there is a young prospect in the name of Rachin Ravindra who can make some calls here. So I would give them a 7 out of 10 when it comes to all-rounder. What about you, Anand?
That's right. Rachin Ravindra, in the warm-up game, we saw him playing brilliantly. He opened the innings and scoring more than 90 runs. So definitely Rachin Ravindra is a good all-rounding hand for them. Santner can bowl. Daryl Mitchell is definitely consistent. Nisham, as you said, will pitch in with runs, good fielder, and even can be handy with the 4 to 5 overs. So overall, I would give them 6.5 for all rounding.
Now, this is a great aspect that I look into when it comes to New Zealand squad. Fielding, no brainer for me here. They are the best squad according to me when it comes to fielding. A 9.5 out of 10 for me.
Wow. I think really under lights, they have shown how good they can be. They have shown under pressure how good they can field and take those crucial catches. Definitely. For me also 9 for fielding for New Zealand.
Now that we've covered all the aspects, and let's see how this sums up to be a winning combination. Team balance is one of the vital things that we need to look into. So one thing is Kane Williamson, as we heard, will miss the first game.
That's unfortunate.
Which is unfortunate and can cause a little damage. So when it comes to balance, I think they're still shaky. But with the experience of Bolt, Southey, and in batting you have Conway, Latham, I would still rate them a 7 out of 10. The reason being they've not performed in the nth moment and remain the unfortunates.
So that's right. I think Kane Williamson definitely is unfortunate missing out. But then what I feel is they have young players now, Chapman and then Will. And then even in the lower down, Daryl Mitchell can play that role. If Nisham comes, he can really bat deep the order, right? And then bowlers are really balanced in my opinion. So overall, I would rate them 7.5, a 0.5 more than you.
To sum up, the total rating of the Kiwi squad is 74.5 out of 100, which is a good rating compared to the other teams. Let's see how far they can go in this tournament.
Yeah, let's see what the Proteas can do. Can they beat New Zealand? Yeah, so let's talk about the Proteas. I think the team which is mostly balanced in all the competitions that they come into, a lot of history behind their very good batting lineup, a lot of all-rounders. But then when it comes to ICC tournament, these guys just don't, cross the line. They just bottle it. I don't know what happens to them. I mean, still their squad selection, we know all the hangama that goes into their squad selection. So I really want the Proteas to, do really well in this tournament. And looking at the squad this time, it is also a balanced squad. So what are your highlights for South Africa?
So as you said, chokers, it reminds me of situations that happened in 1999 World Cup final, Klusner and Donald run out, 2015 ABD in tears in the semi-finals. So these are some of the things I could remember of. Now coming to the real highlight of the squad, I see some of the decision making will come into picture, especially Bawuma's captaincy and missing out on key pacer in the name of Andrik Nokia.
I think they have a really good batting, likes of Quinton de Kock and Hendricks up front, and then Van der Dusen, and then lower down, as you said, Klaassen, and then Markram. So I think batting is sorted for South Africa, in my opinion, and I would give them an 8.5 for batting.
Okay.
What is your thoughts about batting?
So there is batting depth. I agree.
Yeah.
I feel the core of middle order is a little better compared to the Kiwis.
Definitely.
As you mentioned, the man to watch out for is Aiden Markram, for me as well. I would rate a 7.5 out of 10 for the batting.
Okay. Yeah, so going on to the bowling ratings, I think like you mentioned, Norgay will be a major miss out, and Kagiso Rabada has to do the major lifting for them, along with the recent that Gerald Coetzee, right? He bowled, I think he played 2 games and bowled well, and they have a couple of spinners as well. So overall, I'm seeing it as 6 for in the bowling department.
Okay, yeah, Kagiso Rabada has to lead the attack no matter what.
Right.
Ngidi will start, in my opinion, along with it. Coetzee did perform lately, but I think Ngidi has a better experience here in India.
Right.
Coming to the spinning attack, Shamsi, I think that will be a major call out for me, along with Rabada in the South African squad. He can prove some critics wrong. Keshav Maharaj is a good spinner. He can also pitch in with fielding. So coming to one more left-hand bowler, Marco Jansen, he might come into the picture. He's done well in the IPL for Sunrisers. So overall, I would rate a 7 out of 10 in the bowling.
I think this time around they don't have real good all-rounders, right? There's only Marco Jansen, as you mentioned. He can bat as well, and then to support him there is Filakwayo, and other than that I don't see a proper all-rounders for South Africa. So for me it is 5.5 for all-rounders.
So I would second your opinion. Okay. Yeah. The reason being, Aiden Markram for me has done the heavy lifting in the all-rounder department, if you ask me. He's pitched in with that 4-5 overs. But here in India, off-spin will not work as much as other conditions. And Peklekwayo and Marco Jansen hasn't proven enough to have that core in all-rounder. So I would rate the same, 5.5 out of 10.
Definitely, they are all very good fielders, South Africans. Under pressure, they take those crucial catches. So, but it's a 0.5 lesser than the Kiwis for me. So I would give them 8.5 for fielding. What do you think?
So trust me or not, I would rate the same. Okay, 8.5.
Okay. Right? Have they covered all the departments? I think no, they don't. Have the all-rounders to pull it off in this tournament right now. Their batting is really good. Markram, like you mentioned, has to chip in with 4 to 5 overs, and bowling also is it's key for Shamsi, as you mentioned, to bowl really well and get those wickets and restrict in the middle overs. So overall squad balance wise, I would say 7 for South Africa.
Okay. When it comes to me, I would say a little lesser than you. Mm-hmm. It's a 6.5 out of 10 for me.
So the overall squad rating for South Africa is 70.5.
And New Zealand is 74.5. Let's see if South Africa can prove us wrong, but India still stays on the top. Stay tuned, guys, for our next videos.
Like, share and subscribe and hit the bell icon to get notified.
Let's go, FanDaMentals!